Let's be honest, it's human nature to compare ourselves to other, especially our peers and our age group. This is no different when it comes to our finances. In today's video, I want to give you some perspective on what the average 401k balance is by age group. Although this video will serve as a good reference point, your own retirement readiness will depend solely on you, and it's never too late to start saving today. Before we get started, just a reminder that I'm not a financial advisor and this is not personalized financial advice. Okay, so let's get straight into the numbers. A lot of this information will be coming from Fidelity's Building Financial Futures report. So if we cut straight to the chase, remember these are averages, they're not medians, okay? So average, you're gonna get some of the biggest, some of the smallest, and end up somewhere in the middle. However, we will be talking about medians later in the video. So the average balance is $125,900 off of 23.9 million Fidelity Plan participants in the first quarter of 2024. So I'm gonna break this down by generation first, which you can see here, then we'll get into more specific age groups in the next slide. So Gen Z, this is defined by 1997 to 2012 for year of birth. They have $11,300. Millennials, born 1981 to 1996, $59,800. Gen X, born 1965 to 1980, is $178,500. And then baby boomers born from 1946 to 1964 have $241,200 in their 401k by average. So let's add some context here by doing a quick calculation. Let's say you're a boomer retiring today at 65 with $250,000 saved. The average life expectancy in the US is 76 years old, but let's be optimistic here and plan to live until 80. Ignoring compounding for a second, 250 grand over 15 years gives you roughly $16,666 per year, or $1,390 per month. The Social Security Administration says their retirement benefits are designed to replace about 40% of the average worker's wages. In 2023, the average benefit for retired workers was $1,842.87 per month. Doing a little math here, if your retirement savings is the other 60%, that would mean you'd be pulling out an additional $2,764.30 from your retirement savings. Using the same example of retiring at 65 and living until 80, you'd need $500,000 saved to comfortably cover $2,700 per month. Now, let me stop you here. Are these numbers higher or lower than what you expected? Do they surprise you? It obviously makes sense that people who have been in the workforce the longest, aka baby boomers, would have the highest balance. So if these numbers aren't specific enough for you, if you say, hey, I'm somewhere in the middle of Gen Z or I'm on the cusp of certain generations, let's get into this next slide to break it down by decade. So we're breaking down the decade according to Investopedia here, starting in your 20s, ending in your late 70s. I also added another metric here by contribution percentage. So I can't specifically answer this question for everyone watching this video because all of your finances are different, but what I can tell you is that other people are doing these things on average. So for the people that are 20 to 29 years old, average balance is $10,500, contributing 7% of their salary. 30 to 39 is $38,400, contributing 8%. 40 to 49 is $93,400, contributing 8%. And then we have 50 to 59, which is $160,000, contributing 10%. This is a 2% and 3% increase over the previous 3 decade ages. And then 60 to 69, $182,100, contributing 11%. And then 70 to 79, this actually drops to $171,400 with a 12% contribution rate. So the reason for this, in my opinion, is because you're in your prime earning years right here, starting your 40s to your 60s, and you're about to retire right here in your 60s. That's why I believe there's a drop in the 70s right here. And then also the contribution percentage goes up. Maybe people are earning less in older age. That usually shouldn't be the case, but maybe some people start to dip into their 401ks. That's why that balance goes down. So you can see here, the average contribution rate is anywhere from basically 7 to 12%, depending on your age group. Obviously, you can choose to contribute significantly more than this, but these are the average by decades. So if you are in your 20s, 10,500 is the average, so on and so forth. At this point in the video, you're probably saying, but hey, Marko, these are just averages, and who knows what amount of money these people make. You could be a CEO making millions of dollars a year. You could be someone making $30,000 a year. Is this really a fair representation of what I should have in my 401k at this age? NerdWallet has a free retirement calculator that can help you figure out the right amount to contribute to your 401k based on your age, income, and how much you already have saved. It also takes inflation, salary increases, compound interest, and rates of return into account, which gives a full picture view of how your money may grow over time. So let's break down the median 401k balances by income level provided by the How America Saves Report 2023, provided by Vanguard. So this is from last June of 2023. The 2024 report isn't out yet at the time of this recording. But as you can see here, if you make less than $15,000 a year, the median, remember median is the middle number, is $4,033. If you make anywhere from $15,000 to $29,999, you have a median balance of $4,568. $30,000 to $49,000 a year is $11,556. $50,000 to $74,999 is $31,064. $75,000 to basically $100,000 is $58,665. $100,000 to almost $150,000 is $104,155. And then anyone making $150,000 more per year, the median 401k balance is $201,301. So how do these numbers sound compared to what you've seen so far in this presentation? Is this more aligned with the balance that you have? Obviously, certain age groups can make certain different amounts of money. You can be 25 making $150,000. You can be 40 making $30,000. It all depends, obviously, but do you feel these numbers are more in line with what you're seeing in your own personal accounts? So now you have a good idea of where you stand compared to other people in your age group and income level. But the only question that really matters is, how much do you actually need to retire? So by age 30, you should have 1 times your annual salary saved. So for example, if you're earning $50,000 a year, you should have at least $50,000 banked for retirement. By age 40, it should be 3 times. So obviously it should be right around $150,000 if we're using the $50,000 a year example. By age 50, it's 6x, which is $300,000. By age 60, it's 8x, which is $400,000. And by age 67, you should have 10 times your annual salary. So $500,000 for this example. So I know this sounds like a really big number and it may sound difficult, especially if you're starting later, but if you take advantage of employer matches and long-term compound growth, it is possible. Okay, so let's zoom out a second and talk about why saving the right amount matters. So a recent AARP survey of adults saving for retirement found that 33% say they will not have enough saved and 31% aren't sure if they'll have enough saved. That means more than half of the people surveyed either know or suspect they won't have enough saved for retirement. That's partially because how much you save and the amount you'll need is entirely up to you. Everyone is different, okay? Just use this video as a guide and not as a tool to keep up with the Joneses, okay? Yes, I mentioned comparing yourselves to others and your peers, but really it's just for you to understand, hey, this is a checkpoint, this is a marker, this is a gauge. Let me figure out what I personally need based on some of the metrics we talked about. So investing over a long time horizon right here, plus compound growth, that's CG, I just couldn't fit compound growth in the screen. So long-term plus compound growth is gonna help you get there quicker. So the longer you're invested, the more time your money has to work for you. And then finally, just to kind of reinforce the second point, $100,000, it sounds like an impossible milestone, but like with anything in life, you stick with it and you're focused and you can get there. Check out our video here. It's called Why Your First $100,000 is So Important to learn more about this concept. You can check that out in the description below or in the end screen here. Thank you so much for watching and have a prosperous day.